Mass IT outage around the world. Bangladesh's top court scales back government jobs quota. Barcelona will raise tourist tax for cruise passengers. Highway bridge in China crumbles in flooding and heavy storms. Dead fish fill river in Brazil after waste dumping allegations. Korea's top court recognizes some rights for same-sex couples.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, July 22nd, and here are your top stories. Major airlines, medical facilities, businesses, and police forces around the world were hit by a massive information technology glitch Friday, with Microsoft computers showing blue screens of death. The cybersecurity company CrowdStrike said the outages were the result of a routine software update gone wrong, not a security incident or a cyber attack. CrowdStrike provides cybersecurity services and software for many large corporations using Microsoft systems, later issue a new software update that automatically fixed some computers.
However, others had to be manually restarted and patched, causing significant delays. Microsoft announced late Friday morning that its 365 apps and services had recovered, and CrowdStrike said a fix had been deployed early in the morning. But some frozen computers couldn't receive CrowdStrike's automatic update, leading to lingering problems into the weekend. Starbucks locations in New York had resumed normal wait times, despite its mobile order ahead feature still not working. Many flights were grounded globally, and stores and broadcasters in several countries went offline. The tech glitch was responsible for more than half of the U.S.'s 1,352 flight delays and cancellations before 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Major carriers, such as American Airlines, issued ground stops Friday morning citing communications issues.
Bangladesh's top court on Sunday scaled back a controversial quota system for government job applicants, a partial victory for student protesters after days of nationwide unrest and deadly clashes between police and demonstrators that have killed dozens of people. Students, frustrated by shortages of good jobs, have been demanding an end to a quota that reserved 30% of government jobs for relatives of veterans who fought in Bangladesh's War of Independence in 1971. The government previously halted it in 2018 following mass student protests, but in June, Bangladesh's High Court reinstated the quotas, setting up a new round of protests.
Ruling on an appeal, the Supreme Court ordered that the veterans' quota be cut to 5%, with 93% of jobs to be allocated on merit. The remaining 2% will be set aside for members of ethnic minorities, transgender people, and disabled people. The protests have posed the most serious challenge to Bangladesh's government since Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina won a fourth consecutive term in January elections. Universities have been closed, the internet has been shut off, and the government has ordered people to stay at home. The protests turned deadly on Tuesday. Violence continued to escalate as police fired tear gas and rubber bullets and hurled smoke grenades to scatter stone-throwing protesters.
Barcelona will raise the tourist tax for cruise passengers visiting the city for less than 12 hours. Jaume Colomboni said the current tourist tax for stopover cruise passengers is €7 per day. He did not specify by how much the tax will be increased. He told El País newspaper, "We are going to propose substantially increasing the tax for stopover cruise passengers. In the case of stopover cruise passengers, there is intensive use of public space without any benefit for the city and a feeling of occupation and saturation. We want to have tourism that is respectful of the destination."
He said tourists, not local taxpayers, should pay for local projects like air conditioning schools. The proposal will have to be agreed upon with the Catalan regional government. In recent weeks, anti-tourism activists have staged protests in popular holiday destinations across Spain, such as Palma de Mallorca, Malaga, and the Canary Islands, saying visitors drive up housing costs and lead to residents being unable to afford to live in city centers. Another protest is planned in Palma de Mallorca on Sunday evening. Colomboni announced last month that the city will bar apartment rentals to tourists by 2028, an unexpectedly drastic move as it seeks to rein in soaring housing costs and make the city livable for residents.
Chinese authorities say at least 11 people have died and 30 are missing in the partial collapse of a highway bridge in the northwest of the country following heavy storms and flooding. A similar number are missing in the southwest after dozens of houses were destroyed by storms. The official Xinhua news agency said 5 vehicles that fell off the bridge have been recovered after the structure in Shanxi province crumbled at around 8:40 p.m. Friday. A photo released by Xinhua News Agency showed a section of the bridge snapped and folded down at almost a 90-degree angle into the rushing brown water below.
Rescue operations were still underway Saturday in the province's Zhashui County, with some 20 cars and 30 people still missing. In Sichuan province to the southwest, an estimated 30 people were missing and around 40 houses were wrecked in flooding and storms. Xinhua said roads, bridges, and communication networks in the hardest-hit Hanyuan County had been damaged or knocked out, and that rescue teams had been working since before dawn to restore communications and transport connections. As its economy boomed over recent decades, China built a huge network of highways, high-speed railways, and airports, most of which have helped fuel further growth.
Environmental authorities and prosecutors said Wednesday that several tons of fish have died along one of the main rivers in Brazil's São Paulo state after the alleged illegal dumping of industrial waste from a sugar and ethanol plant. São Paulo's prosecutors said in a statement that a preliminary analysis estimates that between 10 and 20 tons of fish died on the Piracicaba River in southeastern Brazil. A carpet of floating fish corpses covered the waterway, littering stretches of the river. Estiva, the company that operates the plant, did not respond to several AP requests for comment.
The initial investigation points to an irregular discharge of wastewater from Estiva's São José plant in Rio das Pedras, which reached a stream flowing into the Piracicaba River. Adriano Queiroz, director of licensing at São Paulo's environmental agency, said in a video call, "It will take years for the environment to recover." The impact on biodiversity is significant due to the number of fish killed and the variety of species affected. The Piracicaba River crosses the protected area Tanqua, known as São Paulo's mini Pantanal, a reference to the tropical wetlands famous for abundant wildlife. Its basin covers 4,838 square miles. Police are investigating whether an environmental crime was committed.
South Korea's top court ruled Thursday that same-sex couples are entitled to the same health insurance benefits as heterosexual couples, a landmark verdict praised by human rights groups. The Supreme Court determined that the state health insurance agency's refusal to provide spousal insurance coverage for gay couples constituted discrimination and violated the constitutional principle of equality. Thursday's ruling is final and cannot be appealed. Public views on gender issues in South Korea have gradually evolved in recent years, but critics argue that the country still has a long way to go compared to other developed nations.
A legal battle between a gay couple, So Seong-wook and Kim Yong-min, and the National Health Insurance Service began after the agency revoked So's registration as Kim's dependent, prompting So to file an administrative suit. In 2022, the Seoul Administrative Court ruled in favor of the agency. However, in February 2023, the Seoul High Court overturned this decision, stating that denying So's spousal coverage rights without reasonable grounds was discriminatory, as such benefits are provided to heterosexual spouses. Amnesty International commented, "While this decision is a major milestone, the case itself is a sobering reminder of the lengthy judicial processes that same-sex couples must endure to secure basic rights that should be universally guaranteed."
The answer for last Friday was A, engulf. The rising tides began to engulf the coastal village. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of mass IT outage around the world. Number 1, outage, 停电时期. A windstorm in Washington is causing power outages throughout the region. Number 2, glitch, 小故障,小毛病. Manufacturing glitches have limited the factory's output. Number 3, ground, 是停飞,阻止起飞. All planes out of Heathrow have been grounded by the strikes. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.